We're going to start with some stretching for our toes into toe flexion. You can do this seated on the ground if you're comfortable here like I am. You could do it with one leg crossed over the other and come in like this. You can prop your foot up on a yoga block if you want to. If you don't have the hip or lower body mobility to be in this position, please feel free to just sit in a chair and then just cross one leg over so that you can access your foot, and then this works just fine as well. So I'm going to come in here with my block and make this as least uncomfortable as I can. And then, like I said, we're going to be stretching into flexion. So what I want you to do is just take your left hand, grab your toes on the top of your foot, curl them all into flexion, and then use your hand to pull all of the joints into flexion. So your toes are much like your fingers. You've got your first kind of set of knuckles and then your second set of knuckles. And so when we do this, we want to make sure that we're encouraging both joints to flex. So I'm going to grab my toenails, I'm going to curl the toenails inwards, and I'm going to be pulling these other joints inwards using my full hand. So I like to take the heel of my hand and place all my toenails there, and then the other knuckle can rest more in the palm of my hand, and then I'm curling it all inwards to get a bit of a stretch there. So we're going to do pails and rails for our toes. And for this first set, once we start doing the isometrics, I actually want you to keep your foot plantar flexed or your ankle plantar flexed. So instead of having your foot and your toes curled up here, right now, I'm going to be mean. I want you guys to plantar flex your foot, and you're going to try and maintain that plantar flexion. So don't let your ankle come up, and maintain your toe flexion on the rails contraction. That's really hard to do, but we're going to do our best with it. So when we do our pails, what we're going to be doing for this first one is I actually don't want you to be too fussy with it. We're going to be a little bit more intricate with our subsequent sets, but on this first one, you're just trying to extend your toes, okay? So your toenails are pressing up. These bottom knuckles will be pressing up into your hands, and you're just trying to create extension, but your hand is going to make sure that you actually don't go anywhere with that. So you're trying to encourage yourself to stay in flexion. You can even imagine that you have that tennis ball that you had earlier right underneath your toes and the ball of your foot, and you're also trying to curl this kind of upper part of your foot inwards as well. So it's not just the toes, but you're trying to create a bit of a flexion curve or moment in the top part of your foot. So the whole thing's being flexed. Now, if this is something that's really limited for you, I want you to please hit pause now and bank some extra time here so that you accumulate at least 2 minutes in this stretch. I'm going to talk you through the rails, and then we're actually going to get started. So we've already talked about how to do pails. Rails, you're just going to, it's pretty self-explanatory, try to flex your toes further inwards, and don't let your ankle position change in the process. So we're going to get into it right now. Like I said before, please hit pause if you need a little extra time. Give me 10% effort starting to press your toes up into your hand as if trying to extend, but don't let it go anywhere. I like to use the other hand to help keep it there. And then we're going to ramp up a little more, start approaching more like 40%, more like 60%, 80%. Your hand's going to be working hard too. And your greatest, safest, pain-free effort. I hope you don't have any sharp toenails, or you'll be feeling that in your palm right now. Those of you that get pedicures with like the artificial nails, this may not feel super great. You may need to put a towel in your hand so that they don't dig into your hand. We're going to keep holding this for another 5 seconds, then we're going to reverse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't lose that plantar flexion. Reverse. Try to maintain as much toe flexion as you can. And hold that. Now I'm going to remove this other hand. I don't want you to do that, but you're trying to keep your toes curled, just for a visual here. And you're keeping that hand there the entire time, because right now we're doing rails. We're going to come back and hit passive range holds where we're going to remove that hand after. Foot staying or ankle staying plantar flexed, toes are staying flexed, and you are squeezing to try and create more toe flexion with all your might for another 4, 3, 2, 1, relax, but don't leave the stretch. So leave your foot and ankle as it is, but you can just let that tension out. You're going to slowly relax. Now, if your foot is cramping right now and you need to come out of it, you can slowly come out of it. I'll give you a little break there.